What's the name of the artist? It's gonna be.
and I see somebody else, but I don't know who it is. I know, we're about to start. Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the August 5th, 2025 Public Art Committee meeting. Committee meeting. We are going to start this committee at 4:32. Welcome and welcome back to the summer break at 97 degrees. Yeah. Okay, what? We need to have one. Yeah. Okay, thrilled to be back. We've called the meeting to order. Anybody online, can you please identify yourself and turn on your camera so we know who you are? Yeah, we need to make sure we get everybody in the minutes, and we need to make sure if there are any public speakers, we acknowledge that. Sonny, you're there?
Sonny Burton, District 7.
You, Katrine? You, and then, who else do I see? Do we still have? I think that's all we have right now. Okay. Can somebody watch the screen and let me know if anybody else comes on so we can make sure we acknowledge those people? Do we have any public speakers? Okay. We will go right away to the approval of the June 3rd, 2025 Public Art Committee meeting minutes. Go ahead. Second. You. Hope everybody had a chance to review them. Have a vote in favor of passing those minutes. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, the minutes from June 3rd pass. The next thing is the recommendation in support of the qualified selection panel candidates for the public artist selection panel list. And Lynn, I'm going to turn that over to you.
So I'm going to tell you all about the selection panel before you get to see it on the screen. So this selection panel is particular to a project for a sidewalk poetry project. We got a slate of candidates for poetry from both the poet laureate, and I reached out to Vicki as well. This is not the last time we will ask for this. So if you all have people that you would like to recommend, please send their names forward. Once we received the names for this list, we confirmed that they wanted their names to move forward. So this list represents people who are poetry experts, except for one, and I will tell you who that is, who have been recommended by the poet laureate and by Commissioner Meade, and have skill and expertise to serve on our panel as we move forward with the 2-1 form project with the poet laureate for sidewalk poetry. We also have our instructional video in rep. As soon as it is complete, I will send it to the committee. We'll get it sent to the committee so you can see it. So in this slate, if you look down to the second from the bottom, Rob Andrews was nominated as a just as a normal selection panelist from Braden again, who used to serve as the public art chair. So that's where that name came from. His background is that he has an interactive exhibition called Rainbow Ball and was very excited about serving as a selection panelist in the artist selection process. The rest of this slate would serve in the capacity for the sidewalk poetry and the other. Y'all have those things about that?
selection panel. We have all of those people who are the poets, how you want to put that panel together?
So in the first round, we will mirror the ordinance. And so we will have, two to three experts in that. And then in our poetry area, and then a community member, and then so we'll mirror that process that we have for selection committees. Selection panels across the board. But we will have a couple of rounds. We think we'll have the first round right at the start of the year, either the end of the year or the we would like to put something in the concrete soon.
And then the other question is, in terms of these projects, are these, how are these being selected? How are we figuring out where these poetry entries are going to be?
So at first, we're just gathering a large library or library, the community forums. We will try and figure out how to select them to go into special places. So we'll let the selection panel know, that we would also kind of like to have these be available in different places. So as we move forward, I've requested from our partner departments rotations that will be coming online that we can print in January, so soon after the beginning of the new year. So it's going to be kind of partner dependent if it is going to be printed. And then if we have other options, which I would like to have to highlight, then we'll figure that out. I don't know if this is still going to hold true, but as a reminder, when this was announced, they will announce it again. 11 is very
Yeah, that's still gonna be the plan. I just know that's what was originally talked about. Okay. Sending votes. Pardon? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Hassani.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I want to say thanks to, from my understanding, thanks to Vicky Meeks for
Can you speak to
contributing to. Can you hear me?
Can you turn this or not? Okay, what it's just not super loud.
I'm going to work on this and you can go to the next.
I'm enjoying your art in the background. Okay, does anybody else have any? Yes, Cassandra. Thank you for remembering to microphone.
Are any of the places where the poetry will be temporary, or is it all permanent concrete, like not going away?
Good question.
That's a good question. If you ask everything, it would be temporary. At this, this first iteration, we can try and figure out something else. So thank you for bringing around because a temporary motion to try about having a virtual where you can turn the page. We've actually asked if our website can do it. So I say, thank you. So
Yeah, Hassani, can you put your question in the chat, please?
or you can text me.
You can text Gordon or me or both. Okay. There were other questions or discussions? Okay, Hassani, do you want to try with your question just so we can move on?
Oh. No. Okay, is your question anything that we can't have on this list for now?
You all hear me?
Yes.
Is it clear? Okay. So sorry about that. Did you already call for the vote?
We're getting your comments.
Okay, thank you so much. So sorry. So first I want to say thank you to, from my understanding, Vicky Meeks, who passion for poetry contributed to this list, and of course staff. Um, I One of the great things about this committee is all of us being able to, contribute to arts and culture in Dallas and and direct that path. And so I will be voting to approve this list. And I would like for the next time we vote on a, slate of candidates, I would like it to come out of a more definitive process that maybe is derived from a workshop similar to what we did when we were talking about, the process of a piece becoming an idea and then being added to the collection. And so before we vote on a next round, I would like to workshop that more and have an opportunity for us to grow in our capacity to serve on this committee, but also grow in our own capacities and abilities to be a value add to the city of Dallas through arts and culture. So that's all.
Thank you for the comments. Okay, let's go ahead with the vote then. All in favor of the selection list? Sorry, I need a motion. What's my motion for that? Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Great, the motion passes. Okay. Do we have anybody in our waiting list, our waiting room? Is it a foreign number, international? Look them in and we'll see who they are. We do not see them on the screen though.
So can we back up then to slide? Well, let's start at 4.
We don't see anybody else on the screen, so. Well, we should see a block. We should still see a block. We don't see anybody. Okay. Is there anybody else in the gallery at all? They would have to have something on it. It'd be a phone number or something. So you'd recommend, but they're not in.
There they are. So where it says, yes, we useful.
Yeah. That's Merrick and Yamba. Merrick, can you hear us? Okay, I don't see that you. You're mute, but we know, we think that you don't think it's
with your microphone because it's impossible to understand what you say.
So we could just hear you could speak. But we can't see you and haven't heard this screen. Okay. Can you hear us and see us?
Yeah, I can hear you and I can see you, but it's sometimes difficult to understand with this sound. Yeah, but
How did I? Is my information? Okay, well, there he is. Introduction, absolutely. Last week, we had a selection of the Council District 10 Forest Green on July 31st. After that, one artist was able to visit the site. And after years of discussions, we took very little time, but the selection panel was very clear to stay and very professional. They selected Mohamed Strozek and Jakob is part of his team. So we can have the them here. They will be today for the concert this month. It's a really appreciate to let me tell you a little bit about Mirek Strozek. He was born in Poland. He graduated from the Academy of Fine Arts in Wrocław, majoring in sculpture, painting, and graphics. He was in design studios, and he was also patenting several of his inventions at the time. He gained his Master of Fine Arts. His expertise and experience in public art is vast. So over the past 10 years, he has been commissioned for public art installations in College Station, Texas, Taiwan, Sweden, Switzerland, San Mateo, California, in France, Kirkland, Washington, South Korea, the United Emirates, and Turkey, and now Dallas. So, and welcome, Jakob. The budget for their work is 105,000. And if we go to the next slide, we're going to see what they have created and come up with for us.
And do they want to show
There we go.
screen and all?
And you have to take over and talk a little bit about the story behind Fruits of Knowledge and how the idea came about. Can you hear us?
oh yeah, now I can, but it's really difficult. If if you can hear me, then maybe
Yes.
I could introduce the artwork to you.
Exactly. Yes. And you can just take over from here and talk about it. I also appreciate it.
Okay, I hope I understood. So, so the concept developed by Mirek for you for the library is called Fruits of Knowledge, and it was inspired by the everlasting trope of a tree in literature, actually, right? Because trees have been in all stories all over the world from the very beginning, from early myths to every modern book, right? So the idea is that we could plant a seed in the souls of maybe some local kids and inspire them to start creating something, and maybe in the future they're going to bear some fruits of knowledge. And to do so, the project that Mirek has devised is a sculpture connected with this community engagement plan, because we'd like to make this sculpture something of your own. So we'd like to encourage the kids and maybe also adults to take part in a short writing competition. We'd like them to write a short story inspired by the sculpture's design. And we'd like to them to share these stories with us because we're going to launch a website with an anonymous voting for the stories. And this way, working together with the library, we're going to find out who wrote the best story, but also we're going to select 5 most popular stories which are going to be read together during the regular storytime meetings. And the best one is going to be published as a sculpture description on Murex website. So that's the idea of how to make it something of your own. But now about the sculpture. So it's going to be a sculpture made using technology that is quite common with Murex works. So it's going to be a stainless steel 316L. So basically surgical steel or the same grade that is used usually with jewelry. So it requires no maintenance at all. It's going to survive all possible weather conditions. And another important aspect is that it consists of these bubble structures. So in this case, these bubbles are fruits, actually. But this structure was specially designed by Mureg in cooperation with our local technical university to generate this specific Moore effect. So we can see here on our screens that there is this strange Moore effect, which usually is a result of low resolution computer screens that need to display very fine lines. However, with this design, this unusual visual effect is going to be visible live with your bare eyes. So it's quite an unusual and eye-catching sight. Another important aspect is that it's going to be made of a plain polished steel, but it's not going to be a mirror-like surface because that would just reflect light. Instead, it's going to be processed in a bit more elaborate way. For example, the fruits, the bubbles or fruits, are going to be glass bead blasted and electropolished, and the stems and the branches are going to be finely polished to achieve a certain satin texture. And this is going to allow us to project light on the sculpture in a way that makes the sculpture appear like it's glowing. So we can see obviously a computer rendering here on the screen, but I highly encourage you to visit our website or take a look at the sculptures on videos that we have over there on our YouTube. And you're going to see that what you see here is actually a very realistic depiction of what we are going to achieve. It's a very accurate simulation. So it's going to be achieved by stage grade lamps by ADJ. So we're using same technology as during large scale concerts with the DMX controller and everything. So each lamp is able to produce millions of colors and can change dynamically. So we are going to prepare a number of scenes for you for different occasions. Of course, we'd like to consult and to find out what the needs are. And Mureg is going to design some dynamic lighting scenes in order to accommodate your needs, the specific situation over there, and just to make it beautiful, right? We can do almost everything with the light, even using just 3 lamps, because the sculpture is uplit from below. So the colors on the sculpture are actually mixing on its surface. We are not limited to colors just emitted by an LED lamp, because we can mix the colors on the sculpture. So we can achieve very fluid color changes. And yeah, it's going to appear like it's moving a bit. People often give us this comment. And the programs that we are going to prepare for you are going to be very easy to control. because we're using a very popular DMX controller by Nicolaudi, and it comes with a free smartphone app. So you can just connect to a Wi-Fi hotspot that's going to be installed with the controller and change the colors and the programs, lighting programs with a free app. It's super simple.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess I can't hear you anymore. So I hope I'm going to hear enough if there are any questions.
Okay, then let me talk about the height a little bit. So can you hear me, Jakob?
A bit.
No, we cannot hear me. Okay, so talk to the discussion. Trying to do is existing tree trees in the area. So when we're not going to cover trees, we found this spot for 12 trees. To do the tree of the fruits of wisdom. So it's going to be 6 trees and 10 feet. I was not sure it's the safety height for installations and trees are used to calculate which are 10 feet. So this will match perfectly the existing trees. And at night, we just the gap between those so it's visible from the entry road into the library. So whichever way you pass the library, you will see that tree at night. It's sunny. Do people have other questions? Right. Do you want to try to use that microphone and see? And if not, we're going to have to type them. Like somebody's going to have to. Do you have the tab at the time? Yes. Could you do that at the top? So. Did you send via WhatsApp at work? Oh, it's okay. Can I hear that? Check.
I guess I'm not the only one. So we can't really hear you over the connection.
Okay. Is that the answer? Really? Okay.
Well, the controllers are ones that you forward. They're, you said you could do it on your iPhone.
Right, the net controls the DNS controller,
Right,
but the DNS controller are physical devices.
Need to be like.
It's like some.
But that,
Oh, the DMX controller is just this tiny, and it's going to be installed with one of the lamps. So for the lamps, we are placing them in the ground in special CNC machined aluminum boxes with safety glass covers, and they are absolutely waterproof, weatherproof, and they've been tested to withstand a stress of up to 3 tons per square inch. So they're virtually indestructible, and we've been using this system for years now, and they can work completely submerged. So we don't need to worry about actually any possible kind of damage or weather situation. And these boxes are actually, we call them Lightbox because, well, it's a product name that we have. They are patented technology by Murex company. So these boxes are actually, by the way, the only way that we can utilize these powerful lamps this way, because otherwise we'd have to install them under some roof.
Other questions? I think we have no other questions. Let's let them go. It's really late at night and they can't hear us anyhow. So we can just say thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'll wait and see.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I will follow up with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
Okay, so we still have Christine on the line. Can she hear us?
No.
Yes.
It says that people.
Well, Asani,
Yes. Can you hear me?
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
It's better now. I don't. It was completely inaudible there for most of the meeting.
Okay. Can you check with Katrina? The internet can hear us?
Barely. I think the speaker or the microphone needs to be right close to somebody's mouth. Really, all we're hearing is like garbled sounds.
Is this any better?
A little better, but your voice doesn't seem like it's close enough to the microphone.
I'm about to eat. Yeah, it's the system. If I'm about to eat, then I'm
That's
Not
a little better.
Okay. Do we have anybody else online? Yeah, okay. What are we gonna do?
I can type whatever we have.
Okay. Let's say there are no more questions, let's have a motion and let's just move this along. Okay. If there are no more questions or discussions about this piece, we're going to have a motion. If somebody would make a motion.
So moved.
Sonny seconded. Great. All in favor? Any opposition? Great, motion passes. This moves on to ACAC and then QLAC, and it should go from there. Yeah, great, thank you. So the next thing we have on our agenda is the public art forecast and plan, and that's you, Lynn. They'll be able to see that up there, and if they have questions, they can type them, or they can ask us, we can hear. Then we can type them. So I'm gonna use my old fashioned voice. So hopefully you'll be able to hear me well enough to look at our forecast. So if we can move forward. Keep going. Thanks. So we're bringing before you our working plan. Many of these, so one, you can see from just this quick overview where our predictions of what we're doing now and what our next couple of years will entail.
One of the pieces that we've really been refining for the last 18 months is our research and development along with our community engagement. So those have been the two pieces that we've really been working hard on because we would like to have more knowledge about our projects in the research and development phase so that we are able to make informed judgments about whether projects are viable. So that we are spending our money well and that our budgets remain intact. So if you can see, we're going to almost have a completed contract for our case study, which we're actually super looking forward to. We're working with HKS's Global Cultural Division to identify a neighborhood, which we believe will be Cedar Crest, to see how we can use public art to impact a neighborhood. So HKS believes that this will be kind of the first time they've seen a case study like this kind of as an architectural plan. And we're really looking forward to bringing this innovation forward. Parks projects, you'll see a slate in our list that is 2024 bond. We have a backlog of 2017 and 2006 park projects that may exist in the form that you'll see in our list or may be combined in some other way, depending on how those numbers come out when we have our park budget. Water projects will be moving forward with 2 to 6. And then city planning, we're actually super excited about these. Working with the planning department to have early interventions in locations that are being redeveloped, like through street programs and putting in a bike path, or, what does it mean to calm traffic? How can the public art be part of those conversations and work with the team to be early in those touch points? Bond construction, we just work with that team when they're building new buildings or redoing buildings. So you'll see libraries and fire stations and those developments. And then citywide projects, those are things like our poetry project. So we can kind of go through our predictions or kind of a forecast in the next slide. So we
Krista, by council district. So you can kind of see things that are in queue, things that have been, that we know when we're completing them because we're actually have team leads working on them right now, things that have recently been completed. So this is 1 through 7. If you want to go to the next slide, this should be the through 12 through 14 and then citywide projects. This, you should have an agenda information sheet that was sent out in your packet. So if you all would like to pull those up, that will kind of give you the corpus of really where we're trying to go with these lists. We're trying to really be more thoughtful about how we proceed and how we use our budgets.
So yeah, if you go through what was sent to you, it goes through, each category, citywide projects, bond projects, and it tells you the stage at which this project is in, as well as the council district. Those are obviously not sorted by council districts, they're sorted by categories, but this gives you by council district, which is just helpful when you're thinking of things overall. Okay, yes. Friday.
I can pull it up.
Yeah.
And we can print it if we need to. City.
Um,
Oh, let me see it. Someone else needs to take the minutes. Yeah. Hold on. We just need somebody.
There's
to
no
take-
minutes. Here, you want to see it on my computer? You want to see it on my computer?
Oh, I can see it on my computer.
Okay.
Okay.
In the meantime, while she's looking at that, do people have questions about this? Can you ask the gallery if they have questions about? Thank you. This side of the room. I feel like I'm at a tennis match.
I don't have questions, but I realize there's a lot.
It's a lot. And it's a little overwhelming. And that's why we resorted this by council district, because it's just, and then once you start putting it in categories, which the rest of, the information page is on, it really, you kind of see all the different departments that this team needs to work with. And I can't imagine they have the same personalities, right? Like, we're not dealing with the same kinds of people all the time, or who process information the same
Let me
way.
tell you what slide
So-
to go to. So the overview slide is. So if we go to slide 13. This
Yeah.
is kind of where we see our work happening. As, we're, for so long, I turned it on, for so long, we had so many park projects, which we still do, and backlog. We, that was really a focus. So we're trying to develop a portfolio that's broader. So that's what you're seeing.
Other questions? Yes, please.
Quick one.
Yeah,
Just in terms of those different categories, do we have a clue as to what kinds of projects they're going to be? Like, for instance, I noticed in District 14, there were a bunch of park projects, but what's happening? Are they renovating parks? Are they?
So if you go to the chart, at the end of the AIS, hold on. If you go to the chart at the end of the AIS, it should really tell you where they are. So where the park is, if they are developing a park. So particularly the 2024, there's a lot of new construction. So in parks, there is a money so the percent for the art happens if there's some kind of new construction. So if it's a playground replacement, we don't get anything. So you will see that it will be new construction.
So it tells you what these are. Like, if you go through it as XL Recreation Center, Willis Winters Park, it will tell you what these are it's specifically for 14. Okay. Got it. Sorry.
New stuff. New stuff is happening. Yeah.
Those are all my parks. That's why I'm interested.
So, and do know,
Yes,
like if
that's
it's
good.
2017, there's a delayed, we have not completed those. And that's where the research and development comes in, because some of them, if their budgets are too small, it's not really viable for the team to be able to do it, given the admin percentage pullout.
Hassani.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. My question was, is there any kind of goal, timeline or turnaround that we have for research period versus implementation period, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, we actually have our, ooh, that's loud.
Can you hear her, or do I need to go type this?
I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, we as a team have been working to codify each of the phases of the project. So for example, community engagement generally is going to take about 3 months. Research and development, depending on what we need to research, that may take a little bit, it can range. So if there is a large corpus of information that is provided to us from the park department, say, about River Shawn Park, we can take that, look at the budget, figure out what the funding is, and move forward quicker than if we are given a location where we know something important has happened, but have no other documentation. So that requires, a lot more outreach to the community, or to do our research in the library, or to stakeholder groups that may be holders of those narratives.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions or comments? Great. If not, we, by voting on this as a plan, we don't have to vote for research for each stage of the different projects. We can just move them along as the staff is able to do so. So this is very time efficient and is going to help the staff, I think, a lot. I hope a lot. So if we have no more questions, can I have a motion? Or we can have more questions, but can I get a motion, please?
So
Sandra
moved.
is the first. Jean's the second. Great. Do we have more discussion or questions? Patrine? If not, then we'll have a vote. All in favor? Any opposition? Great. Motion passes unanimously. Fantastic. Thanks, y'all. Okay, so we're going to go on to briefing. We're going to have an update on conservation, maintenance, and projects from Guy.
No, it's from me. It's from me.
Oh.
So if we look at slide 19, that's where we are on the slide deck. So just quickly, here's the update on this donation for Council District 12. We've been working with the artist and with the council office to get our documents in order to try and have this installation completed. So you will hear more. These are the colors the artist has chosen to paint this. It reflects the Fire Stations 13's colors and their icons. Okay, so next slide. So this actually is such a lot of work and shows really the public art team and our office's dedication to artists, to honoring artists and artists' works. 17 of these medallions have been identified in the terrazzo floor at the convention center. What you're seeing is the lower floors stack of the medallions that will be removed and hopefully repurposed in some manner in the new convention center. We have documented them with a documentary filmmaker, Mark Birnbaum, and are making sure that we have at least one piece per artist that had work in this really important first public art piece in the city of Dallas and Percent for the Arts. Really an important piece called Images of the City. So it's really remarkable to me when people are talking about iconic work. We had it in the floor all along. So we're super grateful for the opportunity to be able to rescue these pieces. Does anybody have any questions about them?
I do. What happens to, you said we removed 10 of the 17, so what happens to the other 7?
So the other bit, they're on the top floor. And so we're waiting for the convention center to do what the convention center needs to do to make sure we can get those out in a safe manner. I will show you all this just to show you how beautiful these are. Yes.
Just to sort of make a historical correction, it's not the first public art piece. It's the first public art piece done through our public art program for Percent for the Art. Yeah.
So this has taken a great deal of time for the collection and conservation manager. However, we're still working through our procurement recommendations to award contracts to get conservation taken, place in an easier manner because we'll have open contracts. And also Guy has gone with Adriana, who will also fill in her information, to Council District 1 to support a reinterpretation of a 2007 public art piece in Oak Cliff. Okay, next slide. Move forward.
Testing, can you hear me? Okay, So I'll start off with an update on the Old East Dallas Workyard Park. We have finally arrived at artist selection. We will be having artist presentations on August 13th. That is next Wednesday. There is a link in the slide deck if you'd like to join the meeting. If you'd like to be included in the invitation, please shoot me an email and I am happy to send you the link. I think on the next slide, Gigi, we should have the happy report that the playground is completed. So I've driven by there. I don't know that the kids are using it yet. I've kept trying to maybe catch some kids or maybe some grown-ups using the spray ground. But I've sent these images to the artists so that they can have additional context for how our location, what our location looks like right now. That image that you see on the right is actually from the art site, so that you can kind of get an idea how what it would look like in relationship to the spray ground. So good progress on Old East Dallas right now. And for Harry Stone, we are moving forward with our RFQ, planning to post our request for qualifications hopefully later this summer and have selection panels in the fall and finalists hopefully at the beginning of 2026 for this project. Next, please.
If anyone is speaking, I do not hear it.
Me again for West Dallas. So the West Dallas Veterans Tribute Art Project is moving along very nicely. We are now in contract development. The artist Eliseo is reviewing the artist contract and developing the final timeline. So once we have finalized, once we have that information finalized, I'll add that information to the slide deck here so you can have that to look forward to. Our latest development is that the park department, in their in unending support of our projects, will undertake the removal of the underbrush clearing at the art site. Most of the mature trees are set to remain. We're working with their biologist as well, who has identified the nesting through fledging season for the migratory birds that are in the habitat right behind the park. So we have end of February through really after 4th of July as a no-go time frame, because we want to ensure that we're good stewards of the natural habitat that's present at our site. And so all of the activity, any construction, any heavy machinery or equipment will be brought after or around those dates. We don't have those dates yet, but the artist will be keeping those in mind as he develops his timeline. Additionally, additionally, as we continue to develop or rather to foster our community connections and our relationships with our community members, I am meeting our stakeholders next week just to give them a site visit again, because they love visiting the park, and I'm happy to take them out there, and just to give them a project status report and answer any outlying questions that they have. So we're very excited about this project and where we are, and we're happy that we have found it a home, and certainly happy that the park department continues to support our efforts.
All right, my turn. Gigi, you can go to the next slide if you want to. So I'm thrilled to report that the Bachman Lake Skate Park mural is done. The turnaround was extremely fast. June, the artist, got here, I believe July 21st, and then finished within a little over a week. You can go to the next slide again, Gigi. Sorry, add a couple more pictures. So here's a couple photos from both sides. You can see it's super vibrant in person. I definitely recommend heading over there. We will be having a dedication August 22nd. And this past Saturday, well, 2 Saturdays ago, myself and Adriana went to the Bachman Lake Together back to school event to promote a little Meet the Artists and kind of celebration and slash drawing workshop that we did this past Saturday. Shout out to the whole public art team. Everybody came. It was so nice. We hung out with the artist. We printed some really amazing temporary tattoos and stickers that mirror the face of the creature that she drew. So definitely come to the dedication. We'll have tons of those for you, and it will be really fun, I think.
Okay, Trinity Strand. I'm not sure if I told you that the last time, but we were able to secure a PID donation for 100,000. So we were able to up the budget for this project to 320, which is fantastic. The RFQ has been published, and all I can say is the location design district and the budget, we are drawing in the big hitters. We are drawing in applications from designers, architects, and artists all over the world, and the big names. So I'm very, very excited for this RFQ to move ahead. Don't be fooled by this idyllic rendering. I was out there this week. It's a mud fest after the rains. There's 2 big diggers out there right now, and it looks nothing like that. It's just a big ditch with a lot of dirt, but we're going to install by spring 2027. It's going to happen. And we have one more picture. This was where Lynn and I did our last office hour. This is in the Irby Residences. That's the high tower apartment complex right next to it. We were able to get a bit more community input on what people want to see. And yeah, they want to see a landmark out there. They want to see something that pulls in the history and the different layers of history in the design district and honors nature, the former run of the Trinity River. That is what we gathered from those community engagement sessions.
Okay, me again. Significant progress on the Tipton Park project over the past couple months. You can go to the next slide again, Gigi. Thank you for driving. So we have concrete slabs installed. There's 3 of them. They look great. They're all in Tipton Park now. Also, the park department has already removed the old pavilion, and the existing one, I believe, will be installed around November. The new one. They have a new concrete slab out there, so everything's going to look super shiny and nice when this is done. You can also see that the shapes are cut out for the pieces. And I actually spoke with Peyton this morning. So they're already welding them together. The corners are already rounded. So the next stage will be powder coating, which should take maybe 2.5 weeks. Then she'll start painting, and we're still on track to install in November, December for these sculptures as well. Another complete project. The Calcium Project's Watershed Floodgates is done. If you go to the next slide, you can see some really beautiful pictures that they sent. Both sets of gates look awesome. Again, really vibrant, really visible, just really nice work by these 2 artists. And I believe this morning we have a tentative dedication date for September 20th. For this project. And Gigi, if you go to the next slide, these are the other 2 that were just finished a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it looks this bright in person as well, I have to say. Even though it's under the highway, I mean, it really just shines. So, working on getting that little area cleaned up for the dedication, and then we'll be good to go.
Quick comments and questions, S.
Oh yeah, what's up? How can I help you?
So first of all, congratulations to you, the whole staff, everyone for getting this done. As I've said in previous meetings, I first heard whispers about a potential art project for these gates. I want to say maybe 11, 12, 13 years ago or so. And just thought it was one of those things that people talked about, and it just never happened. I don't know if it's just a series of events, but you guys got us here, and I really applaud you guys. My family, some of my family was in town for the summer, and they hadn't been here. My mother, in particular, hadn't been here in over 5 years, 6 years since before my son was born. And one of the things both of my family members said was like, oh, because they had came in town just as these were getting done, and someone from Calcium had actually texted me that they were done, and my family said, oh, what's going on with those gates down there? They're so beautiful. Were those there last time we were in town? And so then I got to give them the whole history about not just that as a public art piece, but the history of those gates in general. And that was just a really warm moment for me to be able to share that with my family and to share Dallas with my family. And my question to you is that those gates, because of the history and the significance of those gates, H.S. Thompson Elementary School is about, 500 feet or so away from these gates. Can we potentially schedule the dedication for when the kids are getting out of school, and potentially, since you guys have already, you guys are used to collaborating with schools, it sounds like, kind of reach out to the school and see if they would like to bring the kids in on this event, because it really is. This is a historic piece of public art, and I small community, but it is very, very impactful. So I would like to get as many people out as possible.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad your family liked to see it too. Yeah, I think we're definitely planning on reaching out to the school. I don't know about timing as far as the date is a little bit out of my control. But definitely we'll reach out and let them know that this is happening, and all the details when we get there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this tentative date now is for Saturday.
That's correct. Yes,
Might
for
work
Saturday.
actually better, because once you ask a school to move kids, you're like, there's liability. You might have a better option if the school reaches out to families and says, this is something in our community, please join in. And that would be really cool. And then they can come with their kids, hoping that less people might work on a Saturday. And that would be really neat, because then we would see families. Then if we could do something around a family, something that would be very cool.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, great thought, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Moving on.
Okay, Singing Hills over here again. I don't want to say problem child, but it's given me some headaches over the last few weeks. So we really were able to get your PIC recommendation quickly, then immediately got ACAC COLOC out. Council resolution came in, and we are under contract. Next slide, please. And this is where we are now. So the artist has changed the shape slightly because there are so many different shapes to be created to create that overall form. It's going to cut into the budget, and the tariffs have not helped us at all. So we have been really, really hit by them. We are talking to manufacturers over in one company is the manufacturer and the fabricator are in Germany. So we have the OPV, the what are they, organic photovoltaic elements that are manufactured over there. And we have a backup company over here, but they're even more expensive, even without the tariffs, and they don't do the color that we need. So we've been juggling a lot. If you go to the next slide, and you see the stages we've been negotiating and walking through. So the dark green gray areas are the OPVs, the photovoltaic elements. So they are darker and they are that color. That did not please me whatsoever, because that didn't come anywhere near to the original proposal. So I worked with the artists. So we're now going to sandwich those OPVs in between the polycarbonate, and that's when you see the picture on the right, to achieve a darker pink purple color to still adhere to our original proposal. And then if you go to the next slide. So this is what we're doing. We held it up. So the color will change. It will go darker where the OPVs are in, but it will be translucent for the rest of the piece. And then we got some other samples in from the local American company, but they had a texture on their samples. And I was out there with Lynn last week to hold them, and they don't work for us at all because they're not transparent. So you cannot see the trees or the building through it. So we're back to the drawing board, back talking to the Germans. They have offered us a discount to work with us, but they aren't in the business of doing business. So it's an ongoing project. So I've never spoken this many languages in such a short time, I can tell you that.
Good thing you know these languages.
Yeah, that's why you hired me. And that's it from Singing Hills, but it's moving forward.
Okay, and so Trinity River Audubon Center is part of this overall forecast plan that was presented to you earlier today. And so this is we're just at the initiation phase of this project. So the first step, or rather the next step for this project, is to conduct a site visit. It looks like we have later in August a site visit with the Parks Department liaison to meet on site, and we can walk the location and perhaps identify site location and start talking about preliminary scope of projects. So you'll be seeing some progress reports on this one as the project moves along.
Back to me. So we are making pretty good progress on the Willie B. Johnson Rec Center project. Gigi, can you go one more slide? Thank you. So we had a little community engagement event back in May. And Adriana and I also did some short interviews with a couple of kind of very active community members who've just been part of the kind of push to improve the neighborhood, over the past few years. And they had really great things to say. It was Taylor Jefferson, who is the current president of the Hamilton Park Civic League, and Reverend Bryant, who's a reverend in the area. And yeah, I'm really excited to work with them. They're just super knowledgeable, super friendly, and really, really willing to help us with whatever we need. So it's been a good relationship that we're building over there. So hopefully I'm gonna finish that RFQ by the end of the week and then get that out the next couple of weeks as well.
Okay, Vickery Park is nicely moving ahead. So we had our jurors have worked all over the last 2 months to identify from the 159 submissions that we had our 3 shortlisted artists. And all I can say is we have we have a whole list of muralists now, but we have really, really great shortlisted artists, and I'm excited. I'm just waiting for who they're going to pick, because either of those 3 will deliver a fantastic product and proposal. So what we're waiting for is, or expecting from them, because for mural it's a decently high budget for walls that are not so huge. I think we're talking about 1,000 square feet. We want them to incorporate 3D elements, so there can be a bas relief, there can be sculptural elements. So that's what the artists were instructed, along with community engagement. And all I can already promise you up front is that they're going to be fantastic.
So just a quick addition to to what Sabine said, which is we are creating, when we are getting submissions for these calls, we are, thanks to Sabine, we're trying to get the information into usable forms that we can have lists of artists. So for example, local mural artists are now, we now have a list that is pulled for that. We also have benches. So we're trying to slice, I just asked for mosaics. So we're trying to slice and dice the calls so that we're using those calls also well, that we're able to kind of look back at the artists who are interested in working in Dallas and see where they might be able to match up next. So I will update you on this. This work was installed. So since Adriana's not here, this work was installed. We're working through the acceptance process right now to address some of the installation issues. Next slide.
What are the thoughts on dedication for that?
So if we can get the installation issues addressed, it will be part of the aviation opening of the street beautification. So we don't have a date on that.
Cool. I believe Lynn said this at the beginning of the PAC meeting today, but we did get a rough cut in of our promotional video for the Sidewalk Poetry Project. If you go to the next slide, I think it's actually the next 2 slides. Sorry, one more. Thank you. You can see a hilarious picture of us pouring and testing this big stamp. So it looks amazing. The stamp works fantastic. I obviously am not an expert in pouring concrete, so here's it's a little bit rough, but it will look quite beautiful in an actual sidewalk and not in some crusty, quick, dry concrete. But it was really fun. It was great. It looks great. The video is fantastic, and I'm super excited to share that with you. Also, we've gotten up a landing page on our website that's not active yet, but to kind of host the call, to host the video, and to kind of just have all the information in one solid place, and make it easy for people to just have a kind of one-click application process. We're hoping to get the information onto the website around mid-August, and then we'll open the actual call around mid-September. I think that's everything for me for now.
Back to our team lead who's not present. So community engagement, we are looking forward. So tonight, obviously, they are at Vida La Vida, the reinterpretation for Council District 1. We will also have a Bachman Lake Skate Park that happened already. So the 2 that you were looking at are either shortly distant past or currently happening. Rivershot, the September date for community engagement, we believe will be the last Wednesday of the month, to help us just hear a little bit from the neighborhood. And Police Academy, we've been working with the bond office to address kind of a larger stakeholder community engagement. So we were very fortunate to have Adriana working on those community engagement pieces. And you can see below some of the wonderful tools that have been created for our toolkit, postcards, and then the loteria and children playing the games. So these are always really fun ways to hook the community in so that we can hear from them. Thank you, team. Next slide. Okay, so again, these are the slides with really no significant updates. So just think of these as just marching steadily along, come what may. So working again with the bond office on this project that is large. Next. Roland Parish, it was in the list that you saw today. It is the 2024 Park Bond project as they developed this area that had been Cadillac Heights. So we're really interested in what these stories what stories will come forth for this location. Pueblo Park, Council District 6, as is also in development from 2024 bond. Next. Oh, Kleberg Riley, we're just working through the contract with Carol May. We're really excited about this public art piece. We think this is going to be really charming in its location. Next. Oh, here it is. Proving that in fact it is charming. Next slide. And again, once again, confirming charming. Next slide. And again, keep going. Yes. So, Keller Springs, this location, again, another great narrative, another great section of history to hear. Jerima also supported this. You want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure. So I am supporting Adriana on this project, just kind of tag teaming and re-engaging our stakeholder relationships that, I mean, at this point, we've become really good friends with Remembering Black Dallas and Dallas County Justice Initiative. I'm glad that they want to continue to working on these important projects so that we're incorporating and learning about Black history in Dallas, Black neighborhoods, and that they make a significant informational impact on these public art projects. And so, as stated, we are commencing community engagement planning for this project and identifying a potential location for our first community engagement meeting, where, as you will recall, we typically will review the project, the scope that we know, share with them the public art process, and really start making those community connections to develop a scope of project for this particular project.
Does anybody have any questions on any of these projects? Okay, we're a quiet group today. Fantastic. So here are some dedications. I think that Bachman Lake Park, is that August 22nd?
That's correct.
Okay. So, and do we have a time on that?
10 a.m.
It's morning. Great. Okay. So that is set in stone, right?
Yeah, that one is set in stone.
Okay. That's so exciting. And then we'll hopefully have watershed gates and then perhaps.
We know.
Yeah, that's fantastic though. Super exciting. And you'll be super busy because they're both yours. Fantastic. So those are the dedications. Do we have a dates calendar? Is that the next slide? Yeah. So here are our dates. If you remember, the September date is moved because we moved it from the day after Labor Day to the following week for those people traveling. If you are not going to be in town on the 9th, and we'll probably just send out a email on this week, because I know Vicky will not be in town and we want to make sure we have quorum. We'll have to figure that one out. But those are the tentative dates for now. If you guys see any other problems or concerns with any dates that you know of, either say something, or if you could check your calendar in the next few days. Again, if there's a holiday we're missing or something, and just let us know, then we can rework those to make sure that we are as inclusive as possible. Okay. So those were the dates, and then I think that was it. I don't really have anything else on a report. We have lots of food here. They're all healthy for you. And so those of you online, thank you for joining online. Those of you in the room, thank you for coming down in the room. And we look forward to seeing everybody after Labor Day. So have a healthy and safe rest of the summer and Labor Day. This meeting is adjourned at 5:50 exactly. Thanks, y'all.